Hi guys, my name is Meads. This is going to be a review for movie realization Star Wars Ashigaru StormTrooper, and I'm quite excited for this one. I visited TatsuHobby yesterday and they have this on pre-order. Oh, my pre-order is up. Finally got this. Quite nice. Although I look around, it's sold out pretty much everywhere. So getting this guy is going to be quite hard and could be expensive. So here's the box art. This is made by Bandai. And it does have this Disney in relation to Star Wars, now owned by Disney. Well, LucasArts, that is. Really nice box. On the back here, we get some info and movie realization. Now, it says movie realization. There is no indication that is SH Figure Arts, but I think they're using the same mold, or in some cases, or probably the same joints. That's my assumption. And they say it's movable, molding, the option parts, yep, all the good stuff. Right, that's pretty much it for the box. Let's take a look inside. Alright, let's do an unboxing. So inside, it's actually something in the back here. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Really nice touch. And we have this little instruction booklet, or actually a little printout. And I kind of wish it's made out of the glossy paper and it's actually colored, but it's actually just printed out in normal piece of paper. One-sided actually, there's nothing inside. So here, get a little instructions, or basically parts count. We have 4 pairs of hands. Yep, and I think they're identical. There's nothing like only available for the left or the right. So we got 4 pairs of hands. We have instruction on how to put in the kodachi. It goes to the sheath and also inside of the waist. And we also have the match lock. I believe this is called the Tanigashima right here. And we have a movable serpentine. I think that's where the match is held up, and that's where it goes to the firing area here, the firing mechanism. Really cool. And I think that's about it. And again, Ashigaru, I think that's a Japanese term for soldiers, or the foot soldiers. And I think it roughly translates to, I think the wiki says the light feet. Since they're not wearing like heavy armor. Although it kind of looks like a samurai to me. But then again, maybe that's for the other one, like Darth Vader. Anyways, here's the packaging, nicely laid out. They got all the pairs of hands under here. You got the Tanigashima here. You got the Kodachi, the sheath, and you got the StormTrooper here. Really nice. If you're wondering what's on the back, not much. Just this. It's a nice layout. I really like how this is displayed. Even if you probably just have it like this with an open box, it's really, yeah, basically side to side. That's a nice display. Alright, so let's open this up and let's take a look inside. Alright, a quick size comparison, and basically on the left we have the Black Series StormTrooper, and on the right we have the SH Figure Arts StormTrooper here. And the Ashigaru StormTrooper is actually quite big. Yep, in comparison, well, relatively to the SH Figure Arts. Yep, actually quite nice. Alright, continuing with the review, we're just going to quickly go over articulation. Well, I say quickly, but we'll see. Anyways, you got the really nice armor here. Nicely detailed. And let's do a quick close-up here. Yep. So, from my understanding, they probably just kind of put a wash on it, like the underside. You got that brown, kind of like ink, especially here. Really nice. Even that color here. Yep. Yeah, quite interesting now how they did this. Yeah. Alright, so for articulation, we have the head here, along with the neck. You have this little flap here, kind of protects his neck. That's my assumption, just in case someone tries to shoot an arrow. Yep. So we get a neck articulation here. For the most part, I can see the base of the neck moving, but not so much for the top. But it's probably there's a ball joint up there too. So, yep. And it doesn't really hinder him as much, even though you got this thing here. Then on the shoulder here, the shoulder pad here, it's actually connected on a ball joint right on top here, and I think it's on a separate hinge right in the middle of the shoulder. Not sure if you can see that, but there's a little joint right in the middle which allows you to shift the armor around. So that's really great. Let's probably move his arm here or rotate it. Yep. And on the shoulder, it's kind of interesting because you have this big ball joint here, but you have about probably half an inch or a third of an inch straight peg before it's another ball joint connected to the main torso, which gives you a range of movement there. Then you have a bicep swivel here, I believe. And I just popped that off. So there is a little bit of bicep swivel, but not as much. Yep. Pop this back in right there. And you can put this on the back if you want to do that, but just goes here. Now for the elbow, I found this a little interesting because I'm not quite sure if that's SH Figure Arts. Just looking on the StormTrooper here. The elbow joint is a little different style, but nonetheless, yeah, it's there. And actually looking at the Black series, but yeah, I'm just trying to compare. It's a little different, and I think this joint system is something I've kind of seen on the back of the knee. It's really bulky, and I think it kind of goes along with the armor, which yeah, it kind of works. And it is double jointed. You got a little over 90 degrees, which is great. And there is no I think, yeah, there is a forearm swivel. Yeah, there's a ball joint right there. Then you get the wrist here. It's a hinge, and there is a ball joint at the base of the hand. Yep. So that's really great in terms of articulation. Then they have the waist articulation here, which doesn't really hinder him as much. You can probably go over, but I'm not gonna do that. His plating is this really soft plastic. Kind of feels like rubber. And just kind of drapes around him. Yep, it's quite flexible. And this one, trying to see how this is. Seems like this is, well, aside from that, I think this is just pegged in right, probably in this area here. And if you are curious what's inside, just a ball joint there. And kind of like an extended one. Oh, there's even a hinge there. Huh. Interesting. Let's pop this back in. There we go. You get a little bit of movement there on his abdomen. Yeah. So for the waist, it's actually fairly decent movement, despite having all this armor here. So that's great. Now for the knee, it's double jointed, and there's another ball joint there, kind of like how the forearm is. Well, actually, see if I can. Yeah, you can move the. Yeah, that's actually quite nice. You can have it in a certain angle. And trying to do if you can actually move this waist. Sometimes we have a swivel joint there, but it seems like it's a little too stiff. But for the knee, as you can see, it is double jointed on the back there. You got double joints, and I think you can even move the top part also. So there's a ball joint here and here, which is great. And the knee here is actually, it's molded. That's great. Sometimes you just leave it like flat, which, let's see here. I like this. Well, this is the Black Series though. It's kind of like this, but this one kind of works out for the StormTrooper. But sometimes they just leave it plain. But this is great that they've actually molded that in for the knee. And then you have this one. Yeah, it's really great. And just looking from the detail-wise, StormTrooper's design, you know, it kind of carries on. That's really nice. And on the back here, we have the ankle. It's a ball joint. Kind of curious how, let's see here. Yep, it's the same way. It's going to be angled, and that gives you that ankle swivel, which you wanted for wide stance. So it's really great. There is no toe joint, which might be a good thing sometimes, especially for something this big. You want stability. That's great. Yeah, in terms of articulation, I have to say this is really nice. It does what it's supposed to. Yeah, really great. So that's pretty much it for the articulation. Let's go over the accessories. Alright, for the accessories, we have the hilt here, nicely painted in that brown color. And we have the kodachi here, or the short sword. Nicely painted. It is flexible, meaning there is no die cast in it. It'll be nice, but nonetheless, it's great. And this is actually, let's take a closer look on that one right here. This is nicely done. That's molded in. You can feel the texture on that one, on the handle. And if you look closely on the guard here, it's actually a rust color. And that is a really nice touch. And this one just goes here. And the paint is actually, it stays there. I've already unsheathed this a couple of times and it holds. So that's really good. And this one just goes on his side here. There we go. Alright, we got the Tanegashima here, and this is the matchlock pistol. Really nice. And let's take a closer look on this one. Again, with the details, it is slightly weathered. A little bit of tarnish there. Really nice. So from what I gather, and it's always good to do a little look up or learn something new in terms of figures. So this is the serpentine here, which holds the match. It's a slow, lit, kind of like a fuse. And this one just snaps here when you pull the trigger, and it's supposed to ignite the primary gunpowder. Then it kind of slowly goes into the main gunpowder, which propel whatever projectile you have. And that's from what I read. Really interesting. And even have the notch there for actually having it, the match. But yeah, it's nice. They have that. Cool gimmick. Alright, I was looking around. Is there a way to hold the Tanegashima, but I cannot find any, peg or slot on the side here. Yep, it's probably me, or it's probably no way that you should always have him holding it. He does have the dagger here, just in case you need to do a seppuku, but then it's probably where the matches are, and that's probably where the gunpowder is stored. Looking at the StormTrooper design, and they do have this one. I'm not too familiar with the StormTrooper armor. Not sure if that's the battery pack or that's where they store certain things, but they do have a little storage there. And with that said, let's go over the different hands. So we already have the closed fist. Then we have a pair for holding the sword. Either way. So we're just gonna have him. Or let's pop this out. Pop the joint out here. Get that nice bowl joint right there. Pop this in here. There we go. And before we have that, so hold on. See, I'm trying to find a way for him to bend, because you can't really bend this much without bending the elbow here. So maybe the forearm, or it has to be the bicep swivel. It's kind of hard for him to reach. But there is another pair of hands, which I believe right here is for holding the sheath. So let's do that one. Oh, actually, that's not the right one. Is it? No, it is actually. I thought that was the one for the pistol. So you can have him kind of hold this, or just basically if you remove this on here, hold the whole thing in. Sometimes I'm trying to figure out the best way to hold it. There we go. I think this is probably the best way to put that on. And you can have him kind of like that semi unsheathed pose, which is cool. And getting this sword handle in there. There we go. Put this back on. I mean, the joints are a little stiff, so you gotta play around with it and have a little bit of patience. There we go. So, there we go. We finally got it. So that's really cool. That pose right there. Yep. And let's see how far he can unsheath this. And yeah, he can fully unsheath it while still maintaining his hold on both. Now, I'm usually used to the katana where you got a really long sword, but this one is actually not too bad. It is a little short. I always like the big swords, but you know, this kind of makes sense. Not too long. I think it's just about the right size. You just need to have a sword. Obviously, it Star Wars wise, you know, it doesn't make sense, but we're going with this kind of like an alternate reality where they're samurais, or what was that again? Ashigaru, there we go, that's the name. Or the foot soldiers. Kind of makes you wonder if they're gonna make a Jedi, like a samurai Jedi too. That'd be interesting. Yep. So that's that, and let's move on. I'm just gonna remove this again. There we go. I'll put this back. And I'm probably just gonna use his left hand for the pistol. That way he can wield both. So we're just gonna put this on here. There we go. Well, yeah, I really wish I can move that joint. That pop this out. You can, but it's really stiff. That's my concern. And I would recommend to pop this armor off when you do that. And we got this here. Should just slide in. And you get the trigger finger. It goes on right there. Quite nice. And just lift this up. It's just about to, it's ready to shoot. So this is really cool. Really nice. And here's another pose with the pistol. So if you don't want to have him or kind of support it, you can use the one that I used before to hold the sheet. So, well, the pistol is kind of meant for one hand, but you can do this. And another thing I forgot to demonstrate is the kneeling pose. So let's kind of do that one. Actually, let's do this one here, then kind of raise this one here. It does have a tendency to pop this whole waist joint off. Just the way we're pushing the joints out of the way. But you can always slide that back in. He's able to do a kneeling pose, which is quite nice. And or a half kneeling pose, and then you can do a full kneeling pose like so. Yep. So that's really cool. If you have him like kneeling, yep. Quite nice. Alright, something extra. If you have Figma Kankoli and you have Akagi or Kaga, they do have the bow, and this works out pretty well. I put a little bit of blue tack in there, just he can hold it, but it's one of those long bow, or one end is longer than the other, and it's kind of smaller for the StormTrooper, but it works out unless you have an actual or another bow from another figure, or you make one yourself. But yeah, this actually is nice if you really want to have a bow for your Ashigaru StormTrooper. Alright, and that's about it for the review. Hope you guys like it, and I would highly recommend getting this Ashigaru StormTrooper. It's a really nice one. Highly recommend getting it. Now, a good friend of mine suggested I do a rating system, and I'm still thinking about it. Actually, I did record one for this one. It adds another 5 minutes, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing. So I'll probably do a separate video talking about if it's just pretty much talking about the rating system. And if you want to have an input on that one, please check out the video and let me know. Otherwise, I'll just put it in the description for now on this one, and I'll give you an idea of a little bit more about what I think about this particular figure. I don't know what I've already said in this review. Otherwise, that's about it. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, I got this from TatsuHobby. It's currently sold out. They might have a restock. I'm not entirely sure, but please do check out their website, and there are a couple of pre-orders up right now, and for future ones you can always inquire about them. And yeah, I think that's about it. And yeah, I can't think of anything else to say. Alright, that's about it. So until then, this is Meads. Thanks for watching.